Hi, my name is Jamie Weinstein. I'm a writer in the United States for North Star Writers Group. And your name is?
Marcos Gabriel.
And you are from the
Mission of Cuba.
Mission in Cuba. What do you hope to accomplish at Durban? What do you think that the conference should accomplish?
Well, we are expecting after the first meeting 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It's about time to review quite a few agreements that were taken in that place.
Right.
Of course, the situation at present is quite complicated because the whole world is involved in this financial and global crisis. But anyway, it's always time to have a break and don't put aside a lot of difficulties that the people are facing around the world. This xenophobia and racism that have been growing up in certain areas of the world.
Right.
So it's a good opportunity to review all those agreements and think about any strategy to work ahead.
What areas in particular do you think Cuba needs to improve with regard to human rights and racism and things along those lines?
Well, the cooperation among the countries is a very important issue because it could give you the possibility to update policies, to review what could be done in certain areas.
Right.
And I think the country has the opportunity here to change its views.
Right. Internally, though, inside Cuba, what do you think Cuba can do to make itself more consistent with better practice of human rights?
Well, every country has its own experiences, you know.
Yeah.
It's difficult to make progress in countries where even have different kind of cultures.
Right.
But what I think, for instance, the cooperation and exchange views, I mean, being here and exchange those views would be very important.
You think the exchange of ideas here is important?
Yeah, it's the main.
Do you think that they should have exchange of ideas in Cuba? Do you think they should open up the press so more ideas can come out and debate amongst the Cuban people, like you're debating here amongst the international community, and bring that locally to Cuba itself?
Yeah. All the time we are open to even to improve our own difficulties.
Right. Because you're pretty much state-controlled media and press. So you're saying you think the Cuban government is going to be willing soon to open up to more pluralistic culture?
Well, I didn't put it like that because, for instance, we have a lot of agencies from different countries working in Cuba. And what happened is that sometimes the world is not so open to Cuba, and we are just perhaps too much concentrate in certain, let's say, opinions that doesn't show the reality of Cuba.
Right. Well, I'm talking about internally in Cuba. For instance, the United States, you can go to many different networks, different news stations, get different views. In Cuba, the internet's censored. There's Grandmama, which is kind of the state-owned paper, but not very much other opinion sources there and news sources. Well, and what you're doing here is you're expressing, you're finding different views, but such is the case not able to be happening in Cuba.
But I think it's not so exactly like that, because I remember when the invasion to Iraq, the first thing that the government did was to get a meeting with the different press there in the United States and said that we are going to show what we wanted to be showing according to that work. So,
well, I can tell you as part of the press, they don't have much control. Otherwise, I think President Bush wasn't treated particularly favorably all the time.
But they did it. I mean, we never do that in Cuba. I mean,
organize
the whole media and say,
how many newspapers and networks do you have in Cuba that are not censored by the? If I wanted to come and start a newspaper in Cuba, would I be allowed?
Well, we have, for instance, there representation for different, even European agencies. So we have FA.
You have representatives from the agencies. I'm talking about actual papers that go on in Cuba. Can you?
Cuba?
Yeah. Can you? Their Grandmama is the source. Am I right? Newspaper.
Sorry, could you?
Yeah, sure.